Welcome to some One Piece action. If you're new to the channel, please give us a subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer and have not subscribed yet, please give us a subscribe. It definitely helps the channel grow. All right. So I was really excited for this pudding deck. So I'm essentially trying to make as many Kaido Lin decks technically. And, just essentially seeing, I don't know, Kaido Lin is just too damn strong in my opinion to not see some real play. So yeah, I have like a collection of Kaido Lin builds. And Pudding is the original leader for Kaido Lin in my humble opinion. It's like I really think they gave us a lot of the pieces to make the character successful. And it is what it is. Sometimes we don't notice what we got. But now that they added another searcher, I was like, oh, the consistency rate is legitly higher. All right, let's see what we can do. Now, the app is apping on this one as we got 3 copies of Katakuri, but get a nice block. And luckily, this is the law deck, so they just want to develop some board, understand. That's interesting. So essentially, we could just ramp again. Oh, they blocked one of our Dawn. And then play Viola again. Oh no, we're going with a pop. Yes, that's actually a an on-purpose play, kinda. I don't know if I'm speaking correctly, but essentially, that event was placed in as a backup. So you see how our hand is, and it's like, well, we really want to make sure we ramp. Well, if you have your Dawn face down and you have the event, you attack and you pop and you just ramped a whole turn within that one turn. So that's like an intentional setup. It's just options and backups to backup. The consistency should be reasonable because we have 2 pudding searchers and of course just 4 copies of Kaido Lin in the deck. It shouldn't be too difficult to see that card. And then if you set it up properly, or let me not say properly, if you happen to get lucky to have it set up in your favor, you can play Kaido Lin, blow up the board, swing with Pudding, and get a Dawn. So that way next turn you're at 3 instead of 2. And then, hopefully you have something to drop. So, you can keep ramping. Oh, right. That's something. Okay. So when Kaido Lin came out, Pudding came out, there is a Petal Sparrow and a Brûlée that on KO you ramp. So if those characters are on the board when you blow up the board, you're ramping. So in the perfect world, you can ramp like 2 to 3 off that play. Allowing you to restore your Dawn a lot quicker. And if you can do Kaido Lin twice, you most likely won the game, to be honest. I don't know a scenario where you're not winning the game if you don't do the ability twice. So that beige is going to allow him to gain life if we KO his character with an effect, I believe. Decisions. Choosing counter out of this one. I guess they're debating. Well, they got their leader swing. Okay, they're still playing some cards. Their board is full. Yeah. Oh no, Shambles works where you do. Okay, my bad. I'm like, their board is full. It don't make sense. But no, you just like take the card off the board and then play. So, my mind wasn't thinking intelligently. Okay, so we're trying to stack our hand. That's another thing. You blow up the board and you're gonna have what you call it? Dag. Oh, right. You're gonna have 2 Dawn and then you play the 2-drop Katakuri, which allows you to cheat out bigger Katakuris. No, I like this. Attack, attack, attack. Oh, we're going for the board? Okay, I'm assuming this is our way of getting around the beige. Well, we're just going straight into it. Oh my goodness. They literally just gained 3 life off of that play. So that's that simultaneous ruling. That's pretty interesting. Yes. So that's the simultaneous ruling. You know, where a card would probably normally only protect one card, if the KO effect is simultaneous, it hits multiple characters simultaneously, then that one effect can protect everything because it's all simultaneous. So that was like a wonderful situation to be in, if you ask me. But we represented that Petal Sparrow play where we KO'd the Petal, ramped the Dawn, swung with our leader, ramped the Dawn. So next turn, we're going to be at 4 instead of 2. There's another pudding build that I think would be more comfortable for meta purposes. I really think that pudding, and of course this is going to be with trial and error to make sure, might be like a serious meta deck, but it just, I gotta see how this build flows. It's a different build than this, but this build is doing pretty well and consistent. Yeah, use that trigger because it's free basically. Your opponent's life. Okay, we're leaving it there. I wonder if the opponent must have been able to choose the order in which the characters went to their life, is what I'm guessing. Because they probably could have saved their Cavendish. Yep, just ramping as much as we can. Usability, get the 8 drop. End our turn, restands our leader. Oh god, our Kaido Lin and ramps us. So now we have a strong blocker, we have a healthy amount of Dawn, and we have Kaido Lin that we can just start bullying and swinging with. The stats are very high. We got 2 life. Not much the opponent can do, because I know they got a handful of cards, but respectfully, you can't really counter out of a 12k without dumping your hand. There's not many ways to not dump your hand from a situation like that. Low key, okay. I was like, I'll go for the free block, because I mean, because you got another blocker. So if they was to all in, maybe there's a removal option or a rest option. Okay, paranoia might be justified, but in my head I was like, okay, block with Katakuri, and then protect. Yeah, there it goes. You see, then protect it from an all-in swing, with your Viola or something. But as you can see, they did get rid of Viola, so in theory, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. That would have been a 12 if they did it that way. Yeah, and we wouldn't have been able to protect Katakuri. Well, that's a mandatory block in 1K, so. Yeah, block 1K. Because even if they had Rush, the most is Rush Zoro, which I believe you have to be at a life deficit in order to get the Rush, and it's 5k, so there's enough. Oh my god, that did just happen, and we have the counter power for it. And you left GG. Yeah, you left yourself a wee bit vulnerable. So yeah, we could have just Dawn stacked and swung on 3 different occasions. Something gets blocked, and then poop out your hand, and then yada yada. But yeah, let me do more miscellaneous talking. Let me not say miscellaneous. Let me just do more off commentary talking before this match gets good, or gets cooking. So yeah, I really think this Kaido Lin build is pretty interesting. Of course, I'm always a firm believer of the hive mind being able to. Is that fair to say hive mind? It's usually hive mind is like many entities with one thought, right? But what I'm trying to say is, I always think that the more brains involved, the better you can make something. So I would love to see like what somebody can do with this deck. Now, granted, yeah, I know this video is not containing the deck list, but probably the next video will contain the deck list. It's our confidence, how high our confidence feels. But it's doing pretty damn well. I mean, look, we're going up against what's this guy called? Lucci, who is thinking right now. Oh, he apologized. I guess he must have AFK'd or something. So we're securing our late game. Okay, and we're getting a combo piece. Wow, we got a pretty beneficial hand. If we don't ever have to get rid of Black Maria, we can guarantee playing her the turn after. Because, blow up the board, ramp, then, play her after 3 Dawn, gain the 5, and then literally be able to just, blow up the board again? That would be sick. I would love to see it. I would genuinely love to see it. But it's like I said, by the time you can blow up the board again, the game probably be over. Or you can say, if you blow up the board again, you won, right? We're being greedy. We are just plucking pieces. Ramp some more for the fun of it. Oh no, that brought us to 8? Interesting. Look at that board. Yeah, it's a full board, but it's just a bunch of nothings. Katakuri is respectable, but all these little puddings. Look at that hand. I don't be understanding that about Rob Lucci. They just be having a bunch of cards, just all toxic. That's true. This is Rob Lucci. So we have to kind of cross our fingers and hope they ain't just gonna get rid of our Kaido Lin immediately. And with that Kuzan on the board. That's a -4. Okay. So I guess just, I don't know, trimming the fat. Really want to develop a blocker. And now they got 2 blockers to protect that Kuzan, so. And we gotta get rid of our 2K. It is what it is. Oh, there's another one right there. Yeah, I will be surprised if we get an opportunity to keep the Kaido Lin on the board. Especially since, I ain't gonna lie, there's gonna be some low-key devastation if they don't get it off the board. They got so much hand, I wouldn't be surprised if they chuck a 2K. Yep, there it goes. All right. Scared money don't make money. Let's see what they got. If they got it, it is what it is. I mean, to be honest, we got 2 8-drops. We're going to be able to punch back. It's just, the amount of resource having a -4 saves you, because it's like, okay, if that Kuzan wasn't on the board, then they would need to play like 1 + 2, blah blah blah, like that. Whoa. If that wasn't a misclick, that would imply they don't have a combo play that can get rid of Kaido Lin. Is that true? Did you really not have something to get rid of Kaido Lin? Are we about to blow this board up? Why would you even play that? You know what's happening next turn. That's crazy. Oh, they must be limited on that cost reduction. That's what's probably happening right now. They probably couldn't get enough cost reduction and plus KO option. So it could have been a mix of not enough Dawn plus not enough options. But it's like, in my opinion, what you're doing right now is just wasting resources. That we're playing everything. What the heck? Wow. Too bad we didn't have our leader access to that leader ability, because we would have been at 4, next turn 6. Ooh. So we felt that the yellow 8-drop category was important because board removable is relatively limited. Like, I don't think our only board remover should be Kaido Lin. So yeah, low key, we have 8-drop yellow katakuri to help us with some options. So like right now, they more than likely need blockers or something. You can't just high drop in a situation like this. You run the risk of losing if you should just high drop, right? So what this katakuri would do for us is say, oh, okay, you just put something to help you stay in the game. Let's just take it off the board and make you have to deal with what we got. Oh, there's another Kaido Lin. So we're at 5. That's gonna let us go to 6. But no matter what, developing a blocker would have been is great regardless. That's a block more than likely, yeah. Now, which one are we picking? Yep, I figured that one. See, now you just kind of lost access to a big source of cost reduction. Now, I don't know what the Rob Lucci player was thinking when they, played all those resources before we blew up the board. But I am not a, you can get rid of the Viola. I am not Lucci player. So I have no clue if these were the wrong plays or not. Yeah, so we're at 8. We're very shy of we might be able to go for game because these decks play bricks. No, that is a blocker. There's a blocker. That's probably a take and then a block for the next one. Okay, it doesn't matter. The math is the same. It's just how we choose to respond. Well, Katakuri letting us bring out a blocker right now really helps. Oh, and then we can restand both of those guys. Okay, cool. Rapadon. Next turn is just GG unless you play another Kuzan or unless you play something to pop the Kaido Lin. So you got 2 attacks right now. We got 1 blocker, 1 life. The most sense is to try to figure out how to get rid of our blocker, which is at 3 cost. That sounds completely doable right now. Okay, there it goes. Okay, that's a block. I guess they needed the -1 as well or something. There's the Rebecca play. Oh, okay, they focused on the Kaido Lin. They don't want to spawn up the board again, which I get. It would stop them from being able to wait, where's my thought? I feel like they could have, well, I don't know what's in their hand, but low-key I felt like they could have essentially went for game by getting rid of the blocker and then swinging twice. I mean, granted, they don't know the cards in our hand, but with just 2 cards, blocker Katakuri was at a cost of 3. You probably could have just Don X swung and then swung with your 10 drop. That is the benefit of not knowing what's in an opponent's hand. But regardless, I felt like this is one of those, this is the last turn scenarios. And when it's a, this is the last turn scenario, you kind of just gotta, you know, go for game. Okay, yeah, bricks galore. Okay, yeah. See, okay, yeah. Sometimes certain plays is just all about what's in their hand and how much time they have to combo and blah, blah, blah. So, okay, things make a bit more sense when you see a hand like that. The only thing I could think of is they probably should have forced out the jacks so they can just start cycling and hopefully repair their hand. All right, so this is, to my knowledge, the new Boogeyman. So let's see how this deck, let's see how we do against this deck. Okay. Oh, it's our turn. I wonder if there is room for improvement. And I'm not talking like we made a perfect deck. I'm just thinking like, what else can we do to make this better? You know what I'm saying? Because I saw forgive me, I don't know the name of the YouTube channel, forgive me. But I think you might have heard this. It's like 3 decks win with every leader, something like that. So he made a sugar deck that just played a bunch of high drops, and he used Kaido Lin, and it was like using Kaido Lin just gives you the game, even though it's such a heavy cost. What happens is so destructive. You gain a life, you burn a life, well, you blow up board first, gain a life, you know, whatever. And then, so blockers don't matter essentially, right? Unless it's something that can protect itself with an effect, blockers don't matter. And a lot of times, either they feel like they can't afford to take the hit to life, or you burnt them and they have no more life. At that point, they dump their whole hand. And because they have to dump their whole hand, they just lose. I love attacking with searchers. It just causes complications for the opponent. But yeah, I was just like, goodness, Kaido Lin is just so effective. And then he was also attacking without using the ability, which was cool. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was mandatory. But it's not. So you could just swing without using the ability. And that's a 12k. So no matter what, it's just too hard to defend against a 12k swing. So I was just like, nah, Kaido Lin decks, or, you know, decks that really can utilize Kaido Lin, they need to see more play, because that card just does so much. So yeah, I'm just on an adventure of making different Kaido Lin builds. But I feel like Pudding might have the best situation for Kaido Lin. I know that Robin deck was fun, that went viral, where it's just like, you just swing with Kaido Lin, pop your Basil Hawkins, so you burn them for potentially 2 to 3 life. and then the 12K swing. So normally they're taking 2, 3, or 2 to 3. Like, it's ridiculous. No, more so 3, consistently 3. If it's 2, that means you don't have your basil on the board, and usually you have the basil on the board. So they're consistently taking 3 to 4 life in that one play, and it's insane. But yes, there's just me just, oh, we're putting what's his name in life. Oh, we're going for it. Now we're gaining life. Good stuff. And a blocker for good measure. Look at that. Look at all that defense. 4 life and a blocker. But yeah. Kaido Lin. I don't know. I just wanted to. It just feels like it should just be in the meta in some fashion. But I get it. It's such a risk reward. I ain't gonna lie. So it makes sense why it hasn't gotten a real placing in the meta. But man, is that card strong. Oh. The good thing is we're set up in a way where it's like, okay, we'll have a healthy amount of life. Well, they got that active Dawn, and they got a reasonable amount of cards in their hand. So unless we're like, what, all in swing, we're probably not really going to take it off the board. So sadly, we ain't see our Kaido Lin. You know, a situation that can happen. 8 searchers and 4 copies of Kaido Lin. It is what it is. Swinging for 2 over. So either you're giving us a 2K, 1K, or okay, we're doing this again. It's crazy. I gotta put 4 Dawn on it. Well, not I'm sorry. It's not me playing, just to make that clear. But gotta put 4 Dawn on an 8K character. Sounds like a lot of Dawn for something that's not weak by default. Our board is relatively serious. I mean, we got a blocker, and we got 3 life and 2 8,000 power characters. Now, I have seen some footage of this Luffy, so I know there's easily a Sanji into something type of play. I think your go-to cards is like 9-drop Big Mom or 8-drop Katakuri. Oh, a Red Rock. That's sad. I hate that. Because it also tells them, like, yeah, our hand is not adequate with the counter power. So, yeah, we're in a situation where it's just, we got a lot of Dawn and nothing to burn it with. Either you're giving us a 2K or you're taking life. You playing that event? Oh, they took life. And now we have a blocker. Restand. Ramp. Can't ramp. We're at 10. You know, it'd be crazy. So during the edit of these videos, it'd be on 1.3 speed. So you look at the timer, but it still feels like slow motion sometimes. It's interesting how much the chat log helps. It helps in a way that it's like, this is not normal for traditional card games. I wonder if there was ever an update that or a thought of an update that would essentially stop erase the history of the chat log after like a certain amount of inputs or something. Now you can't see, or even if the turn goes by, now you can't see what they search for no more. You can't read this or that. Because what you're supposed to do in a real match, right? Ask them, hey, what was that card you added? Nope. You already told you when I did it. Can't keep doing that. So it's like, yeah, like after the turn. At that point, if people really want to go crazy with it, let them screenshot and save it for later. But that's probably something they should do. Like when the turn ends, it erases what cards were plucked or peeked at or whatever. All right. So even though they're at 1 life, they have a handful of cards. They are a 6K leader. You know what I'm saying? Discard. Come on now. It's crazy. We're running on fumes. Look at the difference. I mean, our board is way better than their board, right? But that don't mean nothing because look at their hand. You know? We're only 1 life above them. This is nuts. Okay, Big Mom. Okay, looks like they're just simply gaining. Oh no. They put the Brulee in life, and I can respect that. Because essentially, well, no, not while that 8-drop Katakuri's on the board, we're always gonna be able to restand, but I think ultimately they're just simply saying, hey, I don't want you being able to protect something if you really need it. Let's just get it off the board for now. And if you want to play it again, you have to invest for it on. Maybe that's kind of the thought process in putting Brulee back into the life. Now, this does feel weird, right? It's very telling. We only got 1 card. We just crapped out 2 characters with no counter power. But given the current board state, and they only got 5 cards in their hand, 1 life, this is very dangerous for them. We have too many swings. Literally like 1 Dawn on leader, 4 on pudding, so that's 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 and 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'd be too many swings. Yeah, they need to answer the board, otherwise we oh, okay then. That game gives them a life, and you definitely gonna need to take one of the attackers off the board. And they're going for the one that searches. Makes sense. Now we get the Kaido in. But is it safe to play? That's the question. They got 2 9K by defaults and a 6K leader. They're gonna have 10 Dawn. We got 3 life, 1 blocker. So technically we're safe. Because the most they can decide is playing a rush Luffy and swinging for 10. That's fine because you just ate up a lot of your Dawn. Is that fine? No, not necessarily, right? They attack with rush Luffy. Let's say we take. They attack with Big Mom. The best we can do if we want to keep is block and 2K. Then I'm just playing out a made-up scenario, by the way, of course. We're gonna have to stop 4 attacks, one of them being a 7K swing. Yeah, that would be possible, but it might involve not being able to save the Katakuri. But yeah, if they were to have a situation like that. Now, Kaido is extremely hyper-threatening, and I do mean hyper-threatening. We got game, basically. Do we got game? Because burn, they have to defend the 12K. And then that's another thing. We won't have Dawn for our leader. So there's that. So we have to be careful in that regard. We'll have to figure out if they can counter out of a 12K, then they can stay in the game. But we also got attacks, right? And we're gonna have 10 Dawn. So technically, you know, we can just swing, like, and that makes sense. They got no blocker, so we can just keep swinging. That's actually fine to do, in my opinion. Yeah, like, you could put a Dawn on Pero, swing, just swing for 8, and then, oh, and we summon. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, that happened. Yep, Pero goes back. So it's a little interesting because this is also giving them cards in hand, which like changes things a little bit. All right, so we could put some Dawn, swing, and then put the rest of the Dawn. What are we doing? Well, gotta hope that this 12K is high enough. Oh my God, and it isn't. That's OD. They survive. That's OD. Well, that's our fault. We could have just kept swinging. Yeah, that's our fault. Oh my God. Because if they would have took, then it would have just been put the extra Dawn and swing. I mean, they had a lot of counter power. I ain't gonna lie to you. But like, yeah, it could have. Oh my God, no. We had a lot of excess Dawn though. Yeah, we could have just made Katakuri 12, swung. Well, they'll probably take that. And then swing directly with Pudding, which they can't afford to take, which would have made them chuck cards, well, whatever the rest of the Dawn would have been. And then swing with our Kaido Lin, still blowing up the board for safe measures because they had 3 9-drop Big Moms on the board, and then have them try to survive that. So, yes, we can say misplay. I mean, normally you want to use up all your active Dawn before you, you know, you do a play like that anyway, so by default. So, yeah, that's kind of a sad story. $12. Okay, they got a blocker. That worked out for them. Okay, that's smart. Play our blocker first so there's no accidents. And then they got the 1K. Oh my God, they are running on fumes. I mean, we're not in the best position, but we do. Okay, we got counter power in our hand, and we got a blocker, and we got a life. But like, Lord have mercy, the game was over if we did that better. But I don't know. I don't know what that was. I don't know if we was just confident that we had the game, or, I mean, it's a misplay regardless. But what I'm saying is, did we forget that? Well, we actually didn't need to blow up the board as well. I don't know. Nothing made sense with that play. You know, it didn't make sense because they had a life, right? Then you blow up the board, burn the life, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, nothing made sense with that play. Nothing made sense. I don't know what just happened. Nothing made sense with the play. I can't figure it out to justify it. So they got counter power, so they got a 2K. We know that. They're trying to stay in this game. 2K, 1K, I respect it. Just counting the Dawn. That might be a Rush Luffy type situation. Oh my God. Is there something I'm missing? Like, how you catching that? Is there something I'm missing? I gotta read that Luffy leader. I thought they just kept searching for cards. I'm like, does it rearrange the top? Well, we got 3 attacks now. Yeah, and that's 12. Yeah, that's Uji. Thanks for watching.